sale. Far from home, just can't tell. Innocent or guilty, they claim. Justice a flickering flame. Family missing their sons. Every day's a heavy ton. Time to bring the boys home. Can't let them face this alone. Fair justice needed now. Time to let them go somehow. He's got the key to the door. We can't wait no more. Yeah, got it, Queen, a little rock. Time is ticking, it's so hard. How we hold on to change when there's so much pain. Shannon, Nichols, Yang, and Thug. Families just want a hug. Dreams shattered in a night, but we demand what's right. Fair justice needed now. Time to let them go somehow. He's got the key to the door. We can't wait no more. Can't wait no more. We can't wait no more.
Let me show my face. Hey, good people. Hello. I know it's been a while. I know I've been deserting you guys. I know haven't been on, but I've been taking a break, y'all. Been taking a break. I've been getting messages. I am Diva. I got your message. If you're in here, I got your message. She said she was bored, y'all. And she says, I understand you need a break, but I'm bored. I did go live a little bit on TikTok earlier, and I uploaded some stuff on TikTok. And then Nick had asked me to come on today. I came in the back stage a couple of times, and he wasn't ready for me. And then I just said, let me go lay down. And then I laid down, and I said, let me just go ahead and go live on my channel because I haven't been live over here. So let me go ahead and go live here. I didn't even make it to Big Jeff's studio earlier today because I went outside and that stuff is still out there. I felt like my breathing was hurting, and then my stomach started hurting. I was like, I need to get out from out here. I'm gonna go back inside the house. So I came back home. You know that fire that happened with BioLab, and it's affecting. They want people to stay in the house, and it's affecting the environment. And cause I have allergies and stuff, and it's terrible out there. Terrible, terrible. Andy, I didn't even go to anybody. I was back there in Nick's thing for a minute, and then I had to leave. I went and lay down, but I was supposed to be on there. He had an attorney there, and then Rachel was there, and they were talking and talking. And plus, that wasn't even my lane. I am not an attorney lane. So that was for experts. I am not an expert, okay? So that was that was professionals. I'm not a professional, so that wasn't my lane. So after a while, when it was back, I said, let me just go and lay down. So I went and lay down, and then I said, let me go ahead, and I went over there to the other young man's live, the reporter, I think that's his name. The report or something like that. I went to his chat and I stayed in there for a minute and chat with them, and then I came out and then came on here. The Black law student, yeah, I heard he was on there too, but I didn't get a chance to get on. I only saw Rachel and the other guy, the other attorney that was there. But Deanna, we got a phone date tomorrow. I want to shout out to you, Digamy, Stephanie, and Lady C. Y'all pray for me, guys. We resubmitted another human request for YouTube for my monetization and be able to get my money back. And we're gonna see if that work. If that don't work, I was told to get my subscribers to basically harass them on Twitter, on X. So I'll let you know what happened there. And if not, we're going to do a campaigning going out there to harass them to get my account back to be monetized. Okay. So we sent it off early today. And those ladies, yes, they got the letter for me because they're more articulate in getting things like that done. So I know folks hate on me because I ask my people to help me and do stuff. Yeah, I do. If I need help, I'm gonna ask for help. Because I believe it takes a village. I can't do anything by myself, and it's a we thing. It's a we thing. It's a we thing. So shout out to my folks. Shout out to my people. I just hold on. Somebody said something here. Hold on. AM says use your word carefully. Don't tell too much. Your enemies tuned into it. My enemies is in my camp already. So I got enemies all around me. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is. I'm still going to be Sylvia. I am still going to be Sylvia. If I'm a blabbermouth, I'm going to continue to be a blabbermouth. That's Sylvia. That's just me. Definitely Emily. Yeah, they lurking. They inside the camp. They're part of my They're part of my mods. They're part of my channel. They're part of the membership. They're all in there. They act like they're friends and they're foes right up in here in the camp. So I don't have time to figure out who's a Judas because Christ knew he had Judas on there, but I'm not Christ, so I don't know who's my Judas. So that's right. And that says not gonna change, and I'm not gonna change who I am. You're here because of who I am. I'm not gonna change my personality of who I am. I can only be me. I know all y'all would like me to be something you want me to be, but I'm not. I'm gonna be me. Okay. Same hard-headed Sylvia. I'm gonna be me. Bump my head as many times. Hold on, let me turn the light on. Hold on. I need some light on the subject. Woo! Get the light. Some light. Exactly, I am Diva. I'm gonna stay true to who I am. I can't be nobody else, y'all. I can't be nobody else. All right. Guys, I want to tell you, I know this is YouTube, but I want to brag a little bit about TikTok. A little bit. I want to brag about them. Before I start our part 2. Well, I've been doing TikTok, right? And this morning I got up and I was just posting, and posting videos that I had. So one of the videos that I have is you know, I I've been doing the YSL so long. I have so much footage. I mean, I have footage of like things that people don't even think about, the ride that they take into the court, rides that they come out of the court, um, people that I have gotten in contact with, conversations I've had and stuff like that. So I have a plethora of footage, right? And so this today I decided to upload some of those footage. And one of the footage that I uploaded was back in like around February, March, how how last year how they used to come in, right? How they used to come in and they used to come in like with the armor truck and they used to have guns out and all this kind of stuff. So I posted on an old footage that I had. Guess what, y'all? That particular footage have over, and I just put it out there this morning. I put it out there this morning, and guess what it has? The amount of views it has on it. It has 104,000 views. Look, 104,000 views. You see that? Just that little video. 104,000 views. And then the one I had before has 286.3 thousand views. So I'm killing the game out there with that, with the TikTok. I've been on TikTok a total of almost a month, right? Because we calculated before it was only 2 weeks. Now it's almost a whole month, right? I'm at 35.6 thousand followers and 36.8 thousand likes. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? So what I'm going through, I told them today, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna upload because I got so much footage that stuff that nobody has, right? And I'm gonna do like the 1 minute clips of these views. I'm gonna put like a 1 minute of stuff, and I could do it forever and ever and ever. And I have stuff that nobody else has. You get what I mean? Nobody else has these things. Okay? Nobody. No, when I say nobody, because I was standing out there by myself and doing this stuff, and I'm gonna start putting those clips out. It's fun. TikTok, I'm learning. I don't know all of it. I don't know none of it basically, but I'm learning. And so it's been really fun. And I've been getting like so many um inboxes and people have been helping me. I want to shout out to Deanna, shout out to I am Shady B. She has been out there just like cheering me on. She's been her and Black Beauty. And I have some regulars that comes in there every time I go there. Miss Lady C has been like very instrumental because I'm new to it. And I had a couple of battles, y'all, and they've been out there helping me with the battles because different people come in and want to battle me. I'm like, Lord, this is scary. This is scary. So I'll be begging them, hey, please, please, please. So I won 2 battles, no, 3 battles altogether. Because I won one with the guy who says I was his mom, and I won one with him and the girl. And then, of course, that guy that I battled him, right? And that one, it was pretty interesting. So I've been having a good time over there. What does a battle mean? That's when, I'm in there and then the other person there and my people in the chat start hitting the hearts and sending gifts and I'm battling the person to get gifts. And then those gifts turn into money. and then it helps me to rank higher and higher, higher. I'm a B2 now because I started out with a C, I think a C5. I'm a B2, so I keep moving up in the ranks. So pretty soon, once and then when you rank higher, you get out in the algorithm and they put your videos out, and more people come to your channel. And the more people come to your channel, more people views, and more money you'll get. Yeah, you get more money. So it's just that type of thing out there. Brandy P has been out there helping me, and it's been exciting, very, very excited. But that's what I want to tell you guys about that. So it's been fun, and I like it. I like it. It gave me, if YouTube hadn't done what it did, I would have never even ventured out to that side. So I'm learning a lot. It's been it's been really fun. And then that young man that came up there, he taught me some stuff and helped me to do things better. And I'm gonna do things better. So it's been pretty good. And then so now I'm trying to grow my subscribership. Subscribership is like $2. I did $2.99. And so I'm gonna do exclusive where I do my live streaming that I do over there. I'm gonna start doing it for members only because those other people has been like doing craziness and reporting my channel. So I'm gonna start doing a members only type of thing. So that's I've been having fun, y'all. I've been having fun. It's been a blessing. Yeah, it's definitely, it's that, you know how what the enemy meant for bad, God turns it around for your good. Because the Bible tells us all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So we may not know, we may be feeling that something is happening so horrible, but then God make that lemon into lemonade. And that's what's been happening. Lemonade has been happening. Lemonade. And guess what, y'all? I mean, I'm not making as much money as I was on YouTube, but TikTok pays you weekly on gifts. They pay you weekly, and then they have like so many streams of ways of income. They got the gifting where they pay you weekly, and then when you get monetized, I haven't gotten monetized from them yet. Monetized, you get paid monthly, right? That's another form of income. And then another form of income is if, say, you start selling the product, say they send you products and then you start advertising on your channel, that's another form of income there. And then if you get somebody like have some sort of music, like somebody who's brand new to doing music and want to spread their music, and you do their like a little skit to their music, you get money that way. So you get like 4 or 5 different ways of getting incomes on TikTok. And I've gotten 2 paychecks already from TikTok. That ain't much. The first one was like 70 something dollars. Then the other one was like 100. But it's something better than nothing, right? So you got multiple ways. So anybody who's ever thinking about doing TikTok, I suggest you do it. It's very easy. It's a lot to learn and it's fast paced. But before they decide to ban TikTok, I suggest you guys to try it. I suggest you guys to try it. Okay. I'm learning a lot, and it's all over the world. You got billions of people that is on TikTok, billions. So, and they're kind of a little mean too. And then you know what I like about TikTok too, y'all? Let me tell you. When somebody reports you, you can appeal right there, and if you give a good appeal, they'll remove that thing off of you. Because I had 2 things that was, people keep reporting saying my content is not real, that I'm not, that is pre-recorded and I'm not live and all that. It's not original. So I've appealed a couple of times and got it done. Do you have to fill out a 1099? Not yet because I haven't been monetized yet. I haven't been monetized. And you can go live with 500 people, and then 1,000 you can go and wait a minute. I don't know which way. I'm trying to grow my following. So can I go live? So can I go live? I'm at 500. No, you can't go. Wait a minute. I forgot how it goes. You can go live at 500, but you can't go in somebody's thing and show your face or something like that. You can't, something, I don't remember exactly what it is. Yeah, TikTok is very strict. Oh, you got to watch your words. You got to talk like you're talking to children, meaning you can't cuss. You can't say bad, the word GUN. You can't say the word, in the M word. You can't say, like, you can't say GUN. You can't say I'm spelling everything because I'm so used not to saying it anymore. You can't say SHOOT. You can't drive while you're on there. There's a lot of strict things you can't do. And I got dinged several times. But they pause me for a couple of hours, or they pause me for 2 days. I got paused a couple of times. Yeah. If you guys want me to tell you guys what I've learned, I can do that. But I've been learning a lot of things from my subscribers and my followers. They're the one who's been teaching me, and they are so pleasant in teaching me. I mean, there's some meanies in there, of course. You're gonna have meetings. Yeah, you can't say a lot of bad words. You can't do it. You can't cuss, and you know me, I don't cuss anyway. So that part is easy for me. But anyway, let's go ahead on and so it's been a blessing, y'all. It's been such a blessing, such a blessing. You know, it's been such a blessing. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all the people who's been assisting me with everything they've been doing. And I be on your TikTok every day. My name is different on there. Okay. I got a I got a potty mouth. You do, Shay? Well, then you may not be able to do too well in TikTok. You may not be able to do too well. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead on. I got some more clippings from jurors. Jurors. Okay, these videos, and I'm gonna put it out there. These are not jurors that have been chosen. These are people who submitted uh, um, hardship, potential jurors who submitted hardship. They are not on the jury. They have not been chosen. They were dismissed. Every single person that I have on these videos have been dismissed. Okay. But I just want to show you guys how they got out of it. They escaped from the madness of being part of the jury. This crazy trial. None of these people that I am playing on are jurors. None of them. Absolutely none of them. Okay? None are jurors. None. None of them made it. None of them are sitting in the seats as jurors. Okay? Just in case somebody want to ask, oh, are you playing jurors? No, 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 no. It says jurors who escaped the madness of the YSL YoungThug Rico Trial. They escaped. They gone. They vamoose. They no longer there. They're not part of it. But I just wanted to show you what some of the stuff they said. Brittany says, Miss Sylvia, can you tell me what day of court was when the guy just wanted to go back to jail? That was D'Angelo. I think that was day. It's like in the higher days. It's like all the way back in December, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's like day. No, 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 no. It was this year. It was like in April, I think, or March. April or March. I don't know what day it is. Yes, it was after Murphy. Paula said, yeah, this that got you banned with YouTube is at TikTok too. They're gonna try to take you down. And so, no, listen, Paula, let me explain something. I just explained, you missed what I just said. They put down, listen, they put down that that's not live, that I'm not live, but that's pre-recorded. I have appealed those and I've sent them the information and they removed it. So they're not going to take me down on TikTok. TikTok takes your appeal to heart. They take it to heart. They take it to heart. They take it to they have reported me. They have a couple of times. And I have appealed it and it gone through. The only frustration I have is that when I'm live, you can see it goes from green, the little dot goes from green and it start getting yellow because that's when they start reporting it, right? So that's why when I show my face, it helps it out. It helps it, go, it fixes it. So I'm learning. So I've been doing pretty well at it. And they send me different things to show me that to help me out. So once I send that letter to them, it's been helping. I sent them a copy of my Rule 22 as well. And it's a little different because I'm not doing it from any angle from the thing. How am I using his photo, Paula? Paula, stop. Please don't bring these people in. Paula, please, let's not get into negative bringing these people. I do not want to talk about them. Please stop bringing them involved in our live. I'm not dealing with that. Let's stay out of that. Please don't do that. I don't want to talk about them. That's the past. I want to move forward of talking things that's uplifting, things that are lovely, things are pure, things are great. I don't want to talk about them. I have no desire to talk. So please, guys, if y'all gonna bring it, I'm gonna start blocking y'all. I don't want to hear about them. Seriously, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Y'all want to still dwell in the past. I don't want to dwell in the past. I want to stay positive. I'm talking about the great things that's happening with TikTok. Okay. I'm not gonna y'all. If y'all want to still be messy and talk about them, that's not where I want to. That's not the energy I want in here. I don't want that. I choose not to talk about that. Oh, it's April. I knew it was around April. Y'all, if anybody I want to stick to stuff that's in the past about those things, I don't want to be informed. Paula, I don't want to be informed. I could care less. I don't want to be informed. I'm moving away from that negativity. I don't want to be in. I don't care. I don't care. My energy is not there. I don't want to know it. I'm having a great time learning my TikTok. Upload. Ooh, that sounds so good. What? Pancake? Ooh. Wait, hold on. Pop Kobe. There go Pup Kobe, y'all. Pup Kobe. Pup Kobe. We got the same hair color, right, Kobe? Look at my hair color, Kobe. Kobe. Kobe, look at my hair color. Kobe, look at the hair color. You don't want to get down. You don't want to get down. You don't want to get down. You don't want to get down, Kobe. All right, let's go ahead on and play this. Uh-huh. Get your booty off of me. You just gonna sit on me, boy? Kobe trying to sit on me, y'all. Grandpa Kobe. All right, let's go ahead on and play these. Let me put my marker up. Hold on. Let me put my marker up. Okay, here we go. Stop that noise. I should do burgundy hair. No, you know what hair color I want, Dallas? I want purple. I know it's not, but if I do dark purple, it'd be good. Yeah, like a plum, yeah. Kobe, you can't talk with us. Kobe, what's the conversation? So you want to talk to the people? Kobe, talk to the people. Hey, dude, hey, talk to the people. Get your booty. Move your booty over. Move your booty over. What do you want to talk about, Kobe? You want to talk about who let the dogs out? Woof, 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 woof. You want to talk? Huh? Oh. Yeah. Oh. What you got to say? Oh. You want to talk? Yeah. Who did it to you? Which one did it? Which one of the people in here did it to you? Was it Rachel did it? Oh, it was Rachel. Rachel. Kobe said you did it. Rachel did it? Oh, who else? Who else did it? Was it Sherilyn? Was it Sherilyn? It wasn't Sherilyn, huh? Who else was it? It's Paula. It's Paula. Paula did it. Yup, Paula Kobe telling on you. Paula did it. Who else? Kobe, who else? Gigi did it. See, I didn't do it. Gigi did it, Kobe? No, he ain't answering. He said Gigi didn't do it. Gigi didn't do it. Gigi did it, Kobe? His tail's wagging. Gigi didn't do it. See? He knows. He ain't. Now, tell me. Paula did it? Yep, Paula did it. She said, Paula, you did it. Kobe said you did it. Paula did it. Didn't she? See? He said, Paula did it. Who else? Uh-huh. Told you, Paula, you did it. Paula did it. Who else did it, Kobe? Kobe. Who else did it? Who else? Tell me who else did it? Kobe. He telling on y'all. Kobe. Could you come here for a minute? Come over here for a minute. He said, Kobe snitching. You know, they say snitches get stitches, Kobe. Are you a snitch? He said, are you a snitch? Kobe, you a snitching on people? You snitch on Paula? Did Paula do it? Hey, did Paula do it? Did Paula do it? You don't want to talk about it? You don't want to talk about it? You want to talk about it? All right, let me show it. Oh, he said you did it, Paula. He's still talking about you. Huh? Let me see.
This travel, is that correct?
Yes,
All right, madam, is this personal or business?
personal.
And where are you traveling to?
Houston and Sacramento.
California?
Yes.
Okay. And Houston, Texas. What are our dates of travel? For hardship, and the basis, as I understand it, is financial. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me tell you to begin with, we have a little bit of information about you, which has been self-provided. So if the information is correct, we know that you're tech, is that correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
you work for FMC Medical Care, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you worked for them?
About 19 years.
Okay. Do you happen to know what FMC Medical's juror policy is?
My boss explained to me they only cover 1 week.
Okay, only cover 1 week,
Yes, sir.
and after that, you go with leave without pay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Need to ask you a couple other questions that ordinarily would be none of my business, all right?
Okay.
But I need to ask them to you because they're data points that our advocates here need to know. So what did you make last year in terms of salary?
50.
50,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Own a home, have a mortgage?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any cash in the bank? And if so, how much?
I do, just 3,000.
Okay. And so if I understand your situation correctly, you make about $50,000 a year, you have $3,000 in savings, and your financial hardship would potentially be that after the week's worth of leave that you get from your job at FMC, and if you were here for 6 months, you would probably lose about $25,000 in salary and your savings in about $3,000. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Would that stress you and or put stress upon your life?
Yes.
Would that stress or prevent you from listening to the testimony as presented in the four walls of this courtroom and paying attention and giving this proceeding your undivided attention?
Yes, sir.
And would that inattention or worry lead over into you not being able to be fair and impartial to the representatives from the state of Georgia as well as to the individual defendants in this case?
Yes.
All right. Anything else, madam? Anything else on behalf of any of the defendants? All right. Madam, I'm going to go. Is there any reason I can't excuse juror 825 for hardship? All right. Madam, I'm going to go ahead and excuse you for hardship and wish you all the best, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you talk in the microphone for us, please?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Juror 838, I understand, or you've been identified for hardship, and one of the bases is that you're in the Army Reserve, and the second basis is child care. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're an active member of the Army Reserve at this point in time?
Yes, sir. We actually have duty today.
You have duty today?
Yes, sir.
Do you have orders?
I have a schedule.
Can I see that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. No.
Madam, do you have your battle assembly schedule? Is that what you're looking for? Do you have that in paper copy or in your phone?
I have it on my phone, sir.
Okay, if you could just pull it up so I can look at it.
I just sent it to my boss the other day. Look, it's here.
All right, let's see, we have. Madam, I'm looking at your battle assembly schedule, and it was published in August of 2022, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it shows that you have duty from the 2nd through the 5th of March, is that right?
Yes, sir.
It went off, so can you get it, go back on again? Thank you. I see you also have duty from the 13th to the 16th of April,
Yes, sir.
the 5th through the 7th of May.
Okay, question.
He's a locker room.
It went off again. It went off again. Here, that's good.
Sorry.
Thanks. You also have it from the 10th through the 24th of June.
Yes, sir, sir. Annual training.
And then you also have 4 to 6 August and 9 to 10 September. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, what are you doing today, let's say? And the other thing related to your, okay, I have your battle assembly schedule. So you, what's your MOS?
Wheel vehicle mechanic.
All right, and the other issue you said you want to raise to us is childcare.
Yes, sir.
I see you have a sweet little girl with you. How old is she?
1.
How old is she?
1.
1? Okay, all right. And what's the childcare issue that you have?
Can you repeat that, sir?
What is the child?
Did the baby just say 2? No, I was talking to them. Did the baby just say 2? Did the baby just say 2? And then he's like, huh? What'd you say? The baby's like calling the mama out. I think that's what the judge said. But she sounds like she's about 1. She's probably one of those baby I want to, they teach them about being too soon. Okay. All right, let me put it back up. Hold on.
What is the childcare issue that you specifically want to discuss with us about?
I don't have, well, she was in school, but they closed down her school in August because they didn't have any teachers. And I haven't been able to find anything else since then. But since I work overnight, she just is with me during the day.
Okay, so your daughter's with you during the day?
Yes.
What are you doing for because you have battle assembly?
She comes with me. Unless I have to leave the area, go to Fort Gordon or something, but she's with me.
Okay, all right. So I would take it that, so you haven't been able to find other childcare because it closed in August.
Yes,
How old
sir.
is she again?
1, sir.
1 year old?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Counsel, is there any reason that we need to examine juror 638? She would fall within the statutory hardship.
Okay, remember the statutory hardship for children under the age of 6? They get basically waived from being if she's a primary caregiver, is children under 6 and parent under 65, I think. You get automatic waiver if you're the main caretaker of those individuals. So she gets that. That's why he asked, how old is she again? Because he automatically gets that if she's a primary caretaker. And it sounds like she's the primary caretaker of the child. So she would automatically qualify for that. Okay. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that as jury selection stuff, that anyone that's a primary caretaker of anyone under age 6 and anyone a primary caretaker of anybody that's over age 65, elderly. Oh, is it 70? I think it's 70. It's 70. I think it's 70, not 65, 70. So.
All right. Okay, madam, I'm going to go ahead and excuse you for statutory hardship because you have because you told us that you basically you're the sole caregiver of this particular.
To appear, and due to a medical issue, and she has not completed her questionnaire. We received a letter from her doctor advising that she would not be able to make jury duty due to hospitalization.
What was that number again?
680.
680.
Okay, do we have a copy of that letter with us?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. I've also been in contact with the juror, and she's willing to be rescheduled after her hospitalization.
All right. Counsel, is there any reason that that we can't
Okay, Shay. No, this was in 2023. This was in 2023. Yeah, 2023. Because 2022, they had not started jury selection. Jury selection began in January 4th, 2023. So, and remember, jury selection was from then all the way up to November. So November 27 is when they swore the actual jurors in. These are hardship individuals who did not make the cut, who was able to get out of Dodge. Okay?
reschedule? She won't be reschedule juror 680. We could possibly repurpose her into the next grouping of folks that we examine. Is that acceptable?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, okay, so Ms. Von Kels, we'll go ahead and defer her to the next group or thereafter for potential service, okay?
Okay, thank you. Would you still like to use the letter as evidence?
You can give that to Miss Weaver. We'll go ahead and include that as our justification for deferring her. Juror 680.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Juror 786
786.
failed to appear on the 1st. She spoke to us the evening of the video and advised that she had a flight. We
You remember that juror? Do you remember that juror? Do you remember that juror? Yeah, the one that the judge had to show cause. We need to play those jurors. Oh my God, we need to play those jurors. I need to go find those clipping of those jurors, that the one that he made to write that paper, and the what. I gotta go find it. I gotta go, because I didn't title it a certain way, so I gotta go find them. Oh, and also that juror, that young lady that cussed the judge out. We need to look at that one. The one that, because that one you get to see her face, because they did it, they showed her. That's the one we need to. Oh my gosh, she cussed the judge out. We need those. That's the one we need to go find. I gotta go find them. Yeah, she cussed them out. And then she claimed that she had her menstrual. It was a young lady. And they showed on the video and everything. They showed her. Those jurors that were in contempt, those were shown. They were shown because they were in contempt and there was an open court. So you can see those. That's the one we need to do. Yeah, I'm going to look for those. Y'all giving me some homework. I got to go look for those videos. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited now. I got to go find them. That's going to be my homework tonight, to find them for y'all and play them. Okay, remember there was a couple of them. Because they didn't become juror. They were held in contempt. I want to see the lady that was recorded in her phone, and someone told. I gotta see. I gotta look for those things. Oh my God, I gotta see them. Hold on. Let me see if I can see. I didn't title them. They're all like numbers. Like this one here is just numbers. Dang, that will be exciting to watch those jurors. Oh, I gotta find it. I gotta find them. Dang, I wish I would have looked for them. Y'all, let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find that young lady. The young lady that cussed him out, because she was in contempt court. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. That's gonna be fun to find that one. That's gonna be fun. Hold on. Cause see, the thing is, all my little things, I did not title them, so I don't know. I did not title them. Daggone it, I did not title them. So, do you guys remember the time frame it was? I don't remember. I didn't title it. I did not title them. Oh. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I think, let's see. Oh Lord, I have to look for it, y'all. I have to look for it. I have to look for it. I have to go through my stash. See you later, Serena. I have to look for it. I gotta give, oh man, I wish I could find them. You think you could find them on Law and Crime? Yeah, they should be able. You should be able to see those. We just couldn't play them live. We only could play them after the fact. Jury selection started in January. Jury selection started in January. They swore them in. They was bringing them in. Oh, you talking about the official when they started calling for hardship? That's what you're talking about, right? Cheryl Ellis. Yeah, it was March when they started doing the hardship. Yeah. Okay, let me finish playing this one here. Let's finish.
Scheduled her questionnaire date. We rescheduled her to the 1st so that she could come in and fill out her questionnaire before she left. She did not appear. In reviewing correspondence, it appears there may have been some confusion by her about when she was to return. So that may be my fault. She does know she needs to come in after she returns from her trip.
But we don't know when that is. Do we know when that is, madam?
We do, Your Honor. March 9th, she returns. And she provided her flight information.
All right, well, counsels, what I would recommend for juror 786 would be we just, that Ms. Von Kels.
Okay, that was that. Let's see. Let me stop this one right here, remove it. Let me see what I can find, y'all. You know what? I like that Haitian one too. Y'all want to see the one that was Haitian and she was acting like she didn't understand English? Remember the one I was telling y'all about? I did find hers. Let me put hers up. Hold on a second. That lady was a hoot. Hold on. She knows she was lying to the judge, talking about she don't speak English. Yeah, right, lady. She lying, lie like a rug, y'all. Hold on, here she go. Here come the Haitian lady. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Bonsoir, bonsoir. I think I should have to stand up. Bonsoir, madame.
All right. And juror 1606, madam, you have identified for hardship, and I want to say the base that hardship is language.
Yo te di kon sa kote gen difficulté, yon a difficulté sa aussi avec langage. Yes, Creole.
Yes, is that your first language?
Est-ce que c'est première langue? Yes.
And are you a U.S. citizen?
Est-ce
There
que
it is.
c'est citoyen américain? Yes.
How long have you been a U.S. citizen?
Depuis combien de temps vous êtes citoyenne? Since 98.
Since 1998?
Depuis 1998? Yes.
Okay, and how often do you speak English?
Combien de fois vous parlez anglais? I speak English, but I don't speak it well.
Okay, do you speak it at work?
Vous parlez anglais dans le travail? Yes.
Okay. When you came for the for jury orientation, were you able to understand the video that was played?
Lò te vini pou orientasyon pou juri yo, esko te kompren video yo tap jwe ya? Some I do understand, some I don't understand.
Were you able to understand my instructions? Most of them, all of them, or just a little bit?
Esko te kap kompren instruksyon te ba ou sou la plupart nan video, un peu nan video, ou bien pas du tout? A few.
Oh. All right, ladies, anything further?
Your Honor, I would just inquire regarding the questionnaire, if she had any trouble or needed assistance filling out the questionnaire.
Let's, before we get, okay, bless you. Madam, did you fill out the questionnaire?
Esko te rempli questionnaire ou te ba ou a? Yes.
And did you fill it out yourself, or did you have assistance?
Ou te rempli pou kontou ou bien te gen moun pou yedo avel? By myself, I did what I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything further, madam?
Your Honor, not with respect to that, no.
Okay. Any other further questions in regards to hardship, counsels?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. May I excuse juror 1606 for hardship?
No objection. No objection.
State?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, she lying, y'all. She lying. She lying. She lying. She telling a big old fib, y'all. Fibbing. Okay. She lied, y'all. Lied like a rug. Hold on, let me go. Get the other part to this. She lied like a rug, y'all. Let me get the other part. Hold on. That lady lie, 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 lie.
She has some papers for work. She wants to know if the court needs those documents.
No. Okay, let me take a look at it first, but I don't think so.
Look at Jeffrey. Look how you looking at her. Look. Look how you looking at her, y'all. Yeah, she lying. She lying. Okay, this is the last part coming up for her. Hold on. Last part. She lie like a rug. She lie like a rug. All right, here we go.
Madam, you can tell her, I'm gonna excuse her for hardship, okay? Tell her thank you.
M'a excusé ou. Merci beaucoup.
That was it. That was it for her. Merci beaucoup.
She has some papers for work.
So she's gone. Okay. Somebody send me. Thank you, Constantine. She sent me the video for the other one. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. We got the video. We got the video. All right, let's go. All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. This is the one.
What's on your mind or heart I need to know about?
And understand, I don't have all my chronology, so the questions I may ask, may be a little bit different than what probably should be asked at this point in time. But I'll ask her, does the court want me to swear her in?
Yeah, we'll swear in. Madam, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the information you'll give me in the matter now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, so help you God, so affirm?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down.
Your Honor, may I please refer to her as juror number 64?
You certainly may.
Juror number 64, you've heard the recitation from the court as to what occurred in this matter that causes you to be here today. Is there something that you would like to explain to the court as to why you didn't show And what were the circumstances surrounding your non-appearance?
Uh-oh.
Yes, first, like receiving the jury summons. I
Yeah,
don't think,
speak up if you wouldn't mind.
actually just receiving the jury summons. I travel a lot. I've always traveled a lot globally for work and other things, but I traveled. I wasn't here Thanksgiving week, the week of the 28th. So, and I don't think I returned until like the 16th. I was in the UK. And because I live with my grandmother, I didn't go because I was exposed to travel, didn't want to make her sick. So I don't think I actually saw the summons until like the 30th. And
The 30th of December?
yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, from travel and just abstaining from the household to not make
When
anyone
did you
sick.
book your travel for the Dominican Republic?
So that was also a business trip from a partnership, and that travel was, I think it was booked like the 29th, but it's been on my calendar
Of
since
December?
the 1st. I didn't book it. The admin booked it for that particular.
Hold on 1 minute. Yeah, I have a document that may assist the court with that information. If I could present that to the court.
Absolutely.
All right.
And that trip
Hold
wasn't.
on 1
okay.
minute. And I'll hand these up to the court.
Are they part of court one that we gave you, Mr. Thomas?
I don't think that, those are the booking information. I don't think the court gave me, the clerk gave me. the
Okay,
book.
that's fine.
Okay.
I'll mark it as,
My throat itches now.
let's see. Where it should be R1. It's one, so. I'll mark, it's a 6-page document. It starts out with Gotcha's Breakfast Bar and goes on, and it has her booking information. I'll admit it for consideration as R1,
Yes, sir.
bonus one. And some of the information we do have already, Mr. Thomas, but I will include that. So I'll admit it.
All right, juror number 64, you can continue explaining to the court.
Yeah. And that day, like I said, I received the jury summons really late, so and I didn't really fit any of those 4 options listed, so I came. And then at that day, when you said it, I asked when we were checking out, because it's a long day, I asked, was there any exception to the process? Because it was Wednesday, and the hardship things were on Monday. So I asked, my trip started on Friday, and it was a business-related trip, and I asked, was there any exception? They said the best you could do was send an email with the details and explanation. And I also knew I had these medical appointments. I have 5 weeks of scheduled infusions for the next 5 weeks, starting the 20th upon my return. But they said send an email, and I did the first thing the next morning. I also called aggressively trying to get through. And that voicemail, I called it, I checked yesterday, it still says if you have an issue, send it with your jury summons, send an email, and you will not be penalized or something. So I sent that. I didn't really know I was in violation until the sheriff showed up. And even then he said, will you come back, come down. So after I realized it was I had a warning, that it was basically because family members started calling me from seeing the news or reading the paper or whatever. And I called back then. I couldn't leave. I would have immediately returned, but I was on a boat and I had no way to get off. So.
Ms. Hayes, let me ask something. I mean, this is not your first jury service in Fulton County, is that correct?
No, and I've never, but it normally doesn't go like this. And I thought I was following directions.
And that's part of the challenge I think you're facing is that, because I've read through the documentation that you provided that's fairly contained within courts. The court exhibit I just gave, what's that number, Christina? Course 23. And then why didn't you just apply for a medical waiver? And if your health condition, you could have done that, and that would have earlier and gone ahead and not been in this particular position. But
because the jury summons said you had to do it 10 days before, I saw it really late.
so you're saying that when you had your, you didn't get because of your travel, that your notice sat in your grandma's home, and then I'm just.
So I returned from the UK, I know around the 17th. I had a doctor's appointment on the 20th. I didn't go home. I usually don't go home until 7 to 10 days if I've been exposed, because my grandmother's elderly and pandemic and all that good stuff. So I know I didn't see the summons after Christmas. I didn't go home to after Christmas.
So you didn't go home and so your grandma's, you didn't look at your mail until that point in time?
No, my mail was home. No,
Say again?
no, I didn't have my mail.
Okay.
You gotta do an essay. I gotta find that young lady that cussed.
Earlier from the clerk shows
That's
that
what I need to
think the
find.
total amount of her trip, according to the document I have here, is about $6,900.
Yes, I'm in possession of that the total cost of her,
Can somebody find that young lady, the one that cussed the judge out? If y'all could find that one for me too.
Madam, when did you send in this documentation? Did you send it in
The
prior?
same day that usually when I came if it was Wednesday, I did it. We left here late Wednesday. I did it first thing
I'm
Thursday
sorry,
morning.
you're,
On the 5th.
Are you referring to the email? You're asking her about the email that she sent?
I'm asking about when she sent her itinerary to jury services. Did you?
Immediately the next day, the 5th.
Okay, then why not send it earlier? I mean, if that were the case, I mean, you obviously saw this is probably going to be a problem. So why not send it to jury services and put us on the ready even before, because on the 4th, theoretically, I mean, we could, I mean, we do excuse people that have travel that is booked prior to their jury summons. So I don't know if you'd fall in that particular category, but we do take a look at that. I mean, if you've got pre-planned travel that clearly was booked prior to your jury summons, that is something that we can consider. But
Yeah, honestly, Your Honor, I have my mail was stacked. I did.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up.
I said, honestly, Your Honor, my mail was stacked. I went through and I saw it said if you had to do it within 10 days, I believe it said. So my thought was just to show up, to not be, and every move I made is to not be negligent of the jury summons. So I showed up, but I didn't receive that summons, I know, until like the 30th or something like that.
Did you also make calls to jury management?
Yes. Even when I was here that day and realized, when I first saw it, they said, you still have to wait to the end of the day, go through the process with who you did. And as the day got longer, the process was changing. When I was leaving that day, they said, the best thing you can do is just send an email. So if I saw it on the 30th, if I would have sent the email, it still would have been getting to you like on the 2nd or 3rd when it was time for me to show up.
Madam, anything else?
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking that the court mentioned December 30th. That would have been a Saturday also, because New Year's was on the 31st. I mean, New Year's was on Sunday, I believe, this year. So the 30th would have been Friday. I believe would have been Friday. So, I think she made good faith efforts, but I'll also indicate, court, and I don't know how relevant that might be, not knowing all of your procedures, just getting involved in this matter, is that when I was outside this morning, outside your courtroom, I heard your jury management people out there telling people as they come up that the jury management voicemail or whatever it is that people call into changes every day. The message changes. Now, I don't know how that affects people's requests. I don't know how relevant that might be to the court.
It's not really relevant. I'll tell you, and I'll fill you in on that, Mr. Thomas. That particular, it's relevant for people who are assessing when they're supposed to report. So Ms. Von Kelsch tells that letter instructs them saying, hey, call after 5 o'clock, and then your juror number tells you, I mean, the message will tell, hey, jurors, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm just making that up. You need to report X date and time in courtroom 1C or 1D. That's what it does. It does change daily, but we told the jurors reporting on the 4th, 5th, and 6th that they need to call that particular number. Now, I gave them also in court notice when we were So I told them that, I told your client she would need to appear back on the 9th. So I did give in-court notice, and then Ms. Von Kelsch changes the message so that that particular grouping. So for example, we're not finished with all the hardships at this point in time. So those particular individuals are calling that juror services number nightly to find out when they're going to have to come back to be examined. So that's how it changes.
Numbers.
One on the website and one on the letter?
Yes, Your Honor. So there are two numbers. One is a general jury service line for regular traverse jurors and grand jurors, and then there is another line reserved for this case.
And Your Honor, may I ask for the court is, as the court was giving a recitation of how things occurred on the voicemail for jury management, is there in fact a message? And of course I have to ask because I don't know. Is there in fact a message that tells a potential juror that if they send in certain documents attached with whatever request they're making, they won't be penalized? Because that could be misleading. I
Ms.
don't
Von
know.
Kelsch?
No, I don't believe that's on the message.
No, it just tells them when to report.
I don't know.
And
I
that
don't know
particular
what I
time.
did with the letter, so I called the number that's on the
No,
website.
But did you hear something about saying it's not penalized?
It says, yes.
According to her, she says there's something that on that voicemail that says if you do whatever you're being told to do, you won't be penalized.
I just realized this moment there's two numbers because I don't know what I did with the letter actually.
I'm sorry, your mind.
I don't know what I did with the letter actually because I was tired today and I started responding to you guys the next morning. So I went back to that initial jury page. And that's the number I've been calling. That's the number I got through on yesterday. So when I hear, I just had an aha moment that there are two numbers.
Anything else you want to tell me, Madam or Mr. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
How am I asleep sitting up?
Jury number 64.
How am I got something in my eye.
The reason I went through that whole admonition to all of your group at the very end of the day
I'm not
is
asleep.
because, and you may have heard me, talk at the very beginning about the importance of jury service. We have a lot of people that we ask to serve. It doesn't make a difference what vocation or avocation you belong.
I got something in my eye,
or you
y'all.
have. It is that important. It mirrors or is right up against that right, your right to vote. So
I fall asleep sitting up.
when we take this very seriously in order to,
No,
to
I
get a
don't.
lawful and a fair and a just jury as to
Lay
both sides.
down.
So, there are a lot of people that were inconvenienced. I mean, severely inconvenienced. You're not the only person that outlaid money. I examined people yesterday who lost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to be here, and I had to make decisions in regards to that. But I didn't even get a chance to examine you about your circumstance because you went to, you decided, you said, okay, I'm going to go and you didn't afford me the opportunity to do that. Now, certainly, I understand you can't be in two places at one time. So, ordinarily, madam, I do find you in contempt, but here's what I'm going to do. Contempt is punishable easily by a fine of $1,000 and or 20 days in jail. I am not going to fine you. I'm going to, well, first, madam, did you attend college?
Yes.
You have a 4-year degree?
That's Southern Tech. Yes.
Say again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What I then want to do is, in order for you to satisfy your contempt, I'm going to commute the 20 days and require you to write a 30-page paper
30
on the
pages.
importance of jury service. Here's the criteria. You'll have to do APA style. You're going to have to use at least 10 primary sources, 10 secondary sources. You'll talk in a minimum, and I'll write this in the order. You'll have an order. You'll have it before you leave here today. You're going to write at a minimum, the history of jury service, who could not serve on a jury, because that's very important, because years ago, people that look like us couldn't serve on juries. It was prohibited. I want you to talk about jury service in Georgia and discrimination at a minimum, those 4 things, okay? And you can talk about anything else you want to in that regard. I am going to give you a date 3 weeks hence that paper needs to be submitted to me electronically. And we're going to run it through a plagiarism checker. You got to write it yourself. And then you're going to come back and talk to me about it. I think that would be fair under the circumstances, because this is that important. I have to account for all of you who summoned, and I'm still looking for folks that it didn't appear. So I'm not picking on you. I'm sorry that you got a little bit of attention in this respect, but the attention is how serious we view this whole aspect of jury service and participation in the process, so we can get a fair juror and a lawful trial as to both sides. So I'm not trying to make it other than an exercise in that. So do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do is, today is the 12th. You need to have it written and submitted to me by the 3rd of February to my county email address, euro.glanville@fultoncountyga.gov. I'll have that in order. You won't have to.
I just mark in my calendar, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, and then,
I remember that, right? I'm looking for that girls thing now. I need that girl that cussed him out. I gotta look for hers. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, my throat itching. Oh, I gotta find that girl. I don't know where it's at. I wish I knew where it's at. Cause then I can I wish I knew that where that juror's at. Now since we're doing this, I wanted to play it. I gotta look for it. When I find it, I will play it for y'all. Hold on.
all right, we are here for a revocation matter, is that correct?
Y'all wanna see Umfunk when he got his thing revocated? Y'all wanna see Umfunk? Do y'all wanna see Umfunk? The day he got his thing revocated. Y'all wanna see? Okay, let's go play that one. Let's play Umfunk. Let's a couple of clippings on that one. Let's go play Umfunk. You say you watch anything? Okay, here we go. Let's play.
Would it be fair to say that you would lose at least $45,000 in income?
Yes.
Would you have to expend this money you have in checking and savings?
Yes.
Would that also?
Okay, let's get out of this one. We don't want that one. We want
No gun during the term of the sentence and the other after should be restored.
Defendant shall possess no guns during the term of the sentence or at any time thereafter unless his right to do is restored. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And your signature is on page 37. Is that correct? That you've read this agreement, you've had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Russ, Ms. Norman about this agreement, and no other promises other than the ones made in the document in furtherance of this agreement. And you gave this freely, voluntarily entered into this agreement without force, threat, or coercion. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So it's not like we didn't have a conversation about this firearm, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't take pleasure in sending people to prison. It's part of the job and the responsibilities I have as part of what potential consequences are of people's actions. But in this particular circumstance, the state has alleged that you didn't pay your probation fees, and okay, and I've heard evidence that you haven't paid your fees. You owe $141.08 in fees. You haven't started any of the community service in this particular case, so I find those to be proven violations. But, you know, those are relatively minor. I mean, we still want you to adhere to all the conditions, but of the three violations and the grade of those violations, they're not as severe as getting a new case, okay? A new charge. And part of the special condition was that you're not supposed to possess a gun. And the state was very clear, and in Ms. Pretty testified earlier about the things that you were given in terms of your reporting in states 1 and 2. And then Ms. Goodacre came in and specifically you signed acknowledgement of firearm in states 3 and prohibition of possessing firearms or ammunition in states 4. And then I saw states 6 and 7, which was the Glock 9 that was taken from the vehicle, which you were the driver, shaded 3 to 4 inches from that. So I find that based upon the evidence presented in this case, the state has proven by a preponderance of the evidence that you have violated your probation in the 3 means as set forth in paragraph 4 on the petition. Now, in terms of the revocation, your attorney has asked me to consider a revocation of 2 years. And I certainly respect her, and I certainly respect that, you know, you don't know unless you ask. The issue I find aggravating in this particular circumstances are several. You got arrested with a gun within 6 months of you being placed on probation. And I agree with the state that you're not a candidate for probation because all you had to do is just complete your probation and do what you're supposed to do. Instead, you were riding around the car with a gun in violation of your probation and what this court explicitly had conversations with you about. Explicitly, on the record. And for that reason, sir, I'm going to revoke the balance of 9 years and 6 months. And you will serve that in the Department of Corrections. And that will be the sentence of the court. Anything further? No, Your Honor. All right, that'll be the sentence of the court. Okay, we're in recess.
Y'all heard him, right? Well, we're not frozen. That was just, it ended. It ended. Let's see what else we got here. Let's look at my stash. Let's see what the stash has. What else we got here? What's this one? Oh, that's before he came out. That's before he came out, y'all. Let me see if I can find that lady. Look at how fat Love's chin was. Look, she had the double chin. Look. See her chin? It's pretty thick. Okay, let's go look at another one. Let's go look at the other one.
Hi, good morning, councils and interested parties. We're here on the record of the matter of the state of Georgia versus Quantavious Greer in 22 SC 183572. Could I get counsel for the state and counsel for the defendant to identify themselves purpose record? We'll start out with the representatives from the state.
Adrian Love, Your Honor, and Simone Hilton.
All right, good morning, ladies. And for the defense?
Nicole Mormon and Michael Russ for Mr. Greer.
All right, good morning, counsels.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, we are here for a revocation matter, is that correct, involving Mr. Greer?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, I have a copy of the petition. I'll mark that as Court 1. I also have a copy of the sentence. That'll be marked as Court 2. And then I also will include, for purposes of the record, the plea transcript dated 20 December 2022 in this courtroom. I believe that the state was represented by Ms. Hilton and Mr. Brown, and Ms. Mormon and Mr. Rush, you represented Mr. Greer at that point in time. So I'll include that as courts 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, Your Honor. Court 1 was what? One more time, Your
The
Honor?
petition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court 2 is the sentence that was entered on the 20th of December 2022. And then Court 3 will be the actual plea transcript of that same date. Okay, all right. Folks, we otherwise ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Madam, you can call your first witness if you'd like. I do have a copy of the petition. It alleges in pertinent part in paragraph 4 of the petition, it alleges that he, being Mr. Greer, has allegedly violated the terms and conditions of probation in the following manners. Condition 1, do not violate criminal law, and it alleges that on May the 4th of this year, 2023, the defendant committed the offenses of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, unlawful for a person employed by, associated with criminal street gang to conduct, participate in criminal fines and fees. This is the next issue. The defendant currently owes $141.08 in fines and fees. His last payment was made on January the 23rd of 2023 in the amount of $40. It alleges that his special condition has been violated. He's supposed to perform 750 hours of community service, and that he was instructed to complete this community service at repairs of the breached thrift center It further alleges that the defendant failed to complete any hours as of this date. And then there is a special condition that alleges that the defendant shall not possess a gun. And it says, when contacted by members of the Atlanta PD, a firearm was located in the driver's side door panel of the vehicle that the defendant was driving. Those are the allegations that set forth in the petition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
State calls Officer Charlotte Pretty, Your Honor.
All right, Officer Purdy, you go ahead and get her, please.
Okay, that one. Let's go to the next one.
And if he had not appeared any of those things, how would you have alerted the court, or would you have even alerted the court or made someone aware that he was not?
Well, at the time that I spoke with Mr. Greer, he did have an attorney sitting beside him at the time.
Okay.
From what I could tell, he understood, but if I felt like he didn't understand, I would have hoped that his attorney would have said something to me so that we could speak to the judge to let him know that he didn't understand the information, but I would not have said anything else.
Okay. Did at any time you bring to his attorney's attention that he appeared to not understand something that you said?
No.
As part of the intake procedure, do you obtain from the probationer the address that he is expected to live in?
Yes.
Why?
Because our officers have to go out to their house to verify this is where they're living and make sure that the special conditions as far as it goes for there's no weapons when it comes to probation is in the household. And so we have to have a legitimate address for them to go out there, because if it's not a valid address, then we will do a warrant.
Does the probationer have to live in Fulton County at the time that they are placed on probation?
No, they do not.
What happens if they indicate in any way that they will not reside in Fulton County?
I would transfer the case to the county that they live in.
Did the defendant, Quantavious?
Okay, we gotta go to the next one. I gotta get the number.
Years with 2 to serve and the balance of 10 years on probation.
Yes.
Guys, that one's done. Let's go to the next one. Thank you, Nona, for gifting. Nona just gifted 5 membership, guys. Make sure you thank Nona for her gifting.
To have portions of that read into the record, since it has already been admitted by the court as Court's Exhibit 3. State requests permission to reference Court's Exhibit number 3, or in the alternative, I can utilize what I have labeled as State's Exhibit 4, which is the same.
Well, since I was the jurist that took the guilty plea, and I can take judicial notice of what's in Odyssey anyways, but just for purposes of record, the court decided that I would just have the guilty plea transcribed
for those purposes. So you're welcome to use whatever parts of it you choose to.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Pretty, just because we have now Courts Exhibit 3 as part of the record, and I'm going to show you a portion of what is Courts Exhibit 3. And ask if, for the record, you will read the portion of Courts Exhibit 3 that is labeled plea agreement, page 1 of 4, and condition number 3. Would you read what condition number 3 is labeled?
Special conditions of sentence, Quantavious Greer will testify truthfully to all matters.
Just number 3, the title.
I'm sorry.
Okay, and so that was special conditions of sentence.
Yes.
And what is Part B under special conditions of sentence?
I will possess no guns during the term of the sentence or any time thereafter unless my rights to do so are restored.
And what is condition C?
I will commit no criminal acts.
Asking you specifically, did the defendant ever pay any fines or remit any fines or fees to you?
No.
Did he ever report the completion of any community service to you?
No.
Thank you. That's all that I have for now, Your Honor.
All right, cross, Ms. Mormon or Mr. Russ?
Good morning, Officer Pretty.
Good morning.
You stated you are the intake officer.
I am court specialist.
Court specialist. In your testimony, you testified that you did not give Mr. Greer permission to do community service at any specific location.
I do not give those instructions.
So that's my question. That's not part of your role as the court specialist.
No, it is not.
Would it be part of your role as a court specialist to give permission to Mr. Greer to break curfew?
No.
Do you supervise him whatsoever outside of the initial interaction in court?
No.
You stated that Mr. Greer was transferred to Newton County.
Yes.
At some point, was he transferred back to Fulton County?
Yes.
Do you know when?
It was February the 10th. The case was transferred back. I'm sorry, that's when he reported to the office, but it was transferred.
Okay. While he was reporting back to Fulton County, you, in Fulton County also, didn't supervise him at all, did you?
No.
And you're unfamiliar whether or not he made any payments, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor, not from Ms. Pretty.
May Ms. Pretty be temporarily or permanently excused as a witness for the purposes of this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Madam, I'm permanently excused as a witness for this hearing, and you can go about your usual duties and avocation, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. All right, call your next witness, please, Madam.
The state calls Walter Singleton.
All right, Mr. Singleton.
Mr. Singleton. Oh.
All right, Mr. Singleton, good morning, sir. If you could please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you would be so kind to turn and face Deputy Ingram and be sworn as a witness before you sit down. Thank you, sir.
Raise your right hand. Swear affirm testimony you give the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Have a seat.
Yeah, you're 3, right? No, 2 years about 3. And your grandkids, so your grandkids. All right, the next one.
Good morning, Mr. Singleton. Would you please tell the court where it is that you are currently employed?
The Atlanta Department of Community Supervision Office here in Fulton County,
And how long have you been employed there?
since 2017.
Is it your responsibility to supervise probationers while they are on probation?
Not necessarily probationers, but I'm one of the assistant chiefs. So I supervise probation officers, and then when we have a shortage, I pick up some of the cases.
In 2023, did you pick up a case involving the defendant Quintavious Greer?
Yes.
Do you recall when it was that you picked that case up?
February 27th.
Okay. And was Quintavious Greer required as a part of his probation to complete community service hours?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, did Quintavious Greer complete any community service hours during the time that he was on probation? Was the defendant Quintavious Greer required to pay any fees or fines?
Yes.
To your knowledge, did Quintavious Greer, was he required to pay them monthly, weekly?
Monthly.
And did Quintavious Greer pay any fees or fines beyond January the 23rd of 2023?
No.
Okay.
Only wanted two.
That's all that I have for now.
Cross.
In your time supervising Mr. Greer, did you direct him to complete his community service at any specific location?
No, I never had a conversation with Mr. Greer.
So you never instructed him to complete community service at all?
No.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, anything further, Ms. Love?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
You said that you never had any communication with Mr. Greer at all. Did you ever see Mr. Greer during the time that you first started supervising him to the time that he was arrested?
No, I
May
did.
of 2023.
No, I did not.
Did you ever receive a phone call from Mr. Greer during that time?
No.
Did you ever receive word that he had called for you during that time?
No.
Thank you. That's all that I have.
Anything further?
Yes, Your Honor, 1 second.
Go ahead, okay.
Mr. Singleton, at initial intake in Fulton, is there a specific number that is typically called by probation officers for further instructions?
Yes. At our office, when they come in, we give them the office number and instruct them to call within 5 days, 5 business days.
And when they call that line, are they typically told that their officer will be in contact with them?
I don't know what the person tell them because it's one of the admin staff that answers the telephone. So some of them give them the direct name and telephone number for the officer, and some of them may tell them that the officer will be in touch with them.
Have you ever attempted to make contact with Mr. Greer?
No.
Mr. Singleton, you filled out the petition for violation, correct?
Correct.
Was he violated for non-reporting?
No.
Okay, nothing further.
Anything further on behalf of the state?
Not from this officer, Your Honor.
May
Not from
we
this-
excuse Mr. Singleton?
Yes, thank you, Judge.
All right. So I'm going to excuse you for purposes of this particular hearing, and you're free to go about what you usually do as an avocation, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
State calls Officer Madeline Goodaker.
How does she spell her last name?
Goodaker, Your Honor.
Thank you. Officer Goodacre, madam, if you could please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you would turn and face Deputy Ingram and be sworn as a witness before you sit down.
Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you give today the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Proceed. State and spell first and last name of the course, please.
First name Madeline, Madelyn. Last name Goodacre, Goodaker.
Good afternoon, good morning, Officer Goodacre. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Officer Goodacre, would you please tell the court where it is that you are currently employed?
Department of Community Supervision,
In what county?
Newton County.
What is your role there?
I'm a community supervision officer.
Okay. Were you working as a community supervision officer in January of 2023?
Yes.
And would you tell the court what your responsibilities are as a community supervision officer?
My responsibilities as a community supervision officer are to supervise people on my caseload, so that entails making sure that they're complying with the conditions of their sentence, making sure they're reporting as instructed to do so.
Do you perform intake duties as well as
Yes.
part of your responsibilities? On January the 5th of 2023, did you have contact with a Quintavious Greer as a probationer transferred from Fulton County to Newton County?
Yes.
And do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please describe what he is wearing and where he is seated for the record?
The man on my right in the orange jumpsuit.
Your Honor, would the record please reflect that the witness has identified the defendant Quintavious Greer?
It shall.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Goodacre, did you have contact with Mr. Greer in the Newton County Probation Office, or did you have that contact somewhere else?
In the Newton County Probation Office.
And when you did have contact with him, did he appear to have any trouble understanding the words that you relayed and the conditions of his probation that you conveyed to him?
No.
Generally, would you please apprise the court of the conditions and requirements that you conveyed to Mr. Greer?
So during his intake process, we discussed general conditions of probation, to include not violating the law, avoid injurious and vicious habits, reporting as directed, not changing his residence without permission or leaving the state without permission from his probation officer. We also discussed the conditions of his sentence. We went over that in detail, as well as all of his special condition requirements.
Did Mr. Greer appear to have any trouble understanding any of those requirements that you explained to him?
No.
Was Mr. Greer given the responsibility of completing community service?
Yes.
Where was he told to complete the community service?
He was instructed to get in contact with our community service coordinator to get it set up.
Okay. And do you know the place that he was required to report?
I do not.
Okay. To your knowledge, did the defendant ever complete any hours of community service as reflected in your records?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, when you explain the requirements of his probation, are there any special acknowledgement forms that you have the defendant to fill out or read?
Yes.
What are they?
We have a firearms acknowledgement. We also have a restoration of rights acknowledgement, as well as a drug screen instructions acknowledgement.
What is the purpose of the firearms acknowledgement?
The purpose of the firearms acknowledgement is to ensure that our supervisees are aware that they may not possess firearms or be around them whatsoever.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I have marked as State's Exhibit number 3 and State's relates to firearms?
No,
Did he ask you whether or not it was okay for him to have a firearm in the driver's side door of a car that he was driving?
no,
Did he seek permission, any kind of special permission, to have a firearm under certain circumstances?
no,
Did he seem to have any trouble understanding that by committing any of the acts described in State's Exhibit 3 or 4, he was committing an additional felony offense?
no,
Did he seem to have any trouble understanding that these documents and his signature and this acknowledgement could be used?
That's
as
not his
evidence in
brother in
proceedings?
Christ. That's his real
No.
brother. His
I think that's
mother's
all that I have for you, Your
child.
Honor.
Cross.
Are you familiar with repairs of the Breach Thrift Center?
yes,
Is that somewhere that you guys in Newton County typically use for probationers' complete community service?
yes,
Is it located in Newton County?
yes,
If a probationer was to transfer counties, but being assigned to somewhere in Newton County, would that placement initially, or would it essentially be reassigned as well?
yes.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further, Ms. Law?
No, Your Honor.
All right. At this point in time, may Ms. Goodacre be permanently or temporarily excused?
Temporarily, Your Honor.
All right, madam, I'm a temporary excuse you as a witness, so don't go anywhere until we're done.
No,
with
he's not the
such
one that
testimony.
got in
Executive
trouble
session
for
is
not
okay.
hearing.
All right, thank you, madam. Call your next witness.
State calls Officer DeShore Raston.
All right, summon Officer DeStewart Raston.
Your Honor, prior to the next witness, may we approach briefly?
You can.
State calls Officer DeShore Raston.
All right, summon Officer DeStewart Raston, please. Officer Raston, good morning still. Sir, if you approach the witness stand, why don't you raise it before you sit down, turn and face that and be sworn as a witness.
Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Yes, sir. Have a seat. State and spell your first and last name for the court.
First name is DeShure, DESHURE. Last name Raston, RASTON.
Good morning, Officer Raston. How are you?
I'm well, and you, ma'am?
I'm well, thank you. Would you please tell
Guys,
the
we're
court
not
where it is that you are
disrespecting
employed?
City of Atlanta Police
Doug's
Department.
mother, please.
And how are you employed there?
As an officer,
What are your responsibilities as an officer with the police department?
I have many responsibilities, patrol high violent areas for the Apex unit of the department.
And the Apex unit, what is that unit responsible for doing?
Proactive enforcement,
Does proactive enforcement involve surveilling areas of high criminal activity?
yes, ma'am.
On May 4th, 2023, were you working in an assistance capacity with the Apex unit on or near 221 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, ma'am.
As a law enforcement officer, are you trained in any way as it relates to drug detection?
Yes, ma'am.
What type of training have you received, and what types of drugs are you trained to detect?
I received drug recognition training off Gypstick,
Where is Dipstick?
Georgia Public Safety Training Center.
And are you certified by the Peace Officer Standards Training Council of Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
And as part of the training that you have received as a law enforcement officer in Georgia, have you been trained in the detection of marijuana? Like, how do you know how, or have you had experience?
I've
Marijuana?
had the experience working, detecting it. That's where I gained most of my experience from over the last 3 years.
And when you say that's where you've gained most of your experience from, please explain to the court what you mean.
Just coming across it every day. Weed is a minor offense in the city of Atlanta, so I'll come across people who have small amounts of marijuana, whether they're smoking it or in some cases, I've charged people with trafficking marijuana as well on 2 different occasions.
Okay. Would you explain to the court window tint requirements in Georgia?
The Georgia stated by official code, Georgia annotated, the window tint legal limit is 32% plus or minus 3. So given.
Pause before you do that.
Okay.
When you say 32%, is that the amount of light that's required to be able to go or pass through a window?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you always strictly adhere to 32% or?
I normally give it 29%
Okay.
due to the plus or minus 3.
Okay. On May 4th, 2023, did you have an occasion to conduct a traffic stop on a vehicle being driven by a Quintavious Greer?
Yes, ma'am. I have stopped that vehicle.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today that was driving the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you describe where he is seated and what he is wearing for the record?
He is seated on the bench to my right, and he's wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Your Honor, would the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant?
It shall.
And when you first came in contact with the defendant Greer on May 4th of 2023, where exactly was he seated?
The driver's seat of the G-Wagon that he was driving.
Did you ask the defendant to roll down his window at any time?
Yes, ma'am.
When he rolled down his window, did you detect anything?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you detect?
I smelled a faint odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle.
Did you ask the defendant to step out of the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
And did the defendant, or did you open the door for the defendant to step out of the vehicle?
I opened the door for the defendant to step out of the vehicle.
When you opened the door to step out of the vehicle, were there other officers, to have the defendant step out of the vehicle, were there other officers in your immediate proximity?
Yes, ma'am.
Who were those other officers?
There was Officer Jakanga and also another trooper that was standing near us as well.
Was there anything that caused you an immediate concern once you opened the door of that vehicle?
There was a firearm that was in the door panel.
How were you able to notice that there was a firearm in the door panel?
From the grip and the magazine that was visibly shown immediately as soon as you opened the door.
Did you have to search around in the car before you saw that firearm?
No, ma'am. It was plain view once I opened the door.
Did any other officers besides you see that firearm?
Yes, ma'am.
Who?
Officer Jakanga.
How do you know he saw it?
Because he stated that he can't have him turning his body towards the gun.
Okay. And in response to Officer Jakanga's words, were there any utterances made by the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he say?
He stated that the gun is registered.
Did he ever say or express surprise that the gun was there?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibits 6 and 7. And ask you if you recognize the imagery depicted in State's Exhibits 6 and 7.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize it?
This firearm that was in the door panel.
Okay. And have you seen anything, or do you know? Is that relates to firearms?
No.
Did he ask you whether or not,
Yes, ma'am. It was Sergeant Brian Hill.
okay, and were you on scene when the images that are depicted in state 6 and 7 took place in real time?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and do they accurately reflect Sergeant Hill holding the firearm after it was retrieved from the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state tender states exhibit 6 and 7 is evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
State 6 and 7 are admitted.
And Your Honor, I will just state for the record that when we approached, defense counsel stipulated to the violations that are listed in the defendant's probation violation warrant. But
I believe that is correct. Ms. Warren, do you disagree?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Make sure.
Officer Raston, do you know what type of gun it is that was taken out of the door panel of the vehicle the defendant was driving?
It's a Glock. I believe it's a 19. If you would allow me, I could read the make and model and the serial number.
Okay. I'm going to show you an incident report from case number 231241240. Would that refresh your memory?
Yes, ma'am.
I've given this to the defense as well. Approaching the witness with the report.
Madam, we mark that,
Yes, Your Honor.
purposes of
Eight, yes.
pressing recollection.
Thank you, Judge. I will do that. Have you had an opportunity to refresh your memory with what I will mark as State's Exhibit 8? And let me do this. I'm going to mark the first page, and then I'm going to turn over to page 2 of 6 and ask you if the make and model on 2 of 6 refreshed your memory.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the type of gun that it was?
It's a Glock 19.
Was the Glock 19 made safe on the scene? Did you all collect it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, was it empty?
It was ammunition that was in the chamber as well as the magazine.
The gun was loaded?
Yes, ma'am.
The door panel where the Glock was sticking up from and the defendant, when the door is closed, how close to the defendant, based on where he was seated in the vehicle, would that Glock have been?
Like maybe if he had his hand on his thigh, maybe a few inches away.
Thank you, that's all that I have for now.
Cross.
I'm gonna leave this up here, Your Honor. It's not-
Yes, ma'am.
You stated you have no formal training in the detection of marijuana?
See, you
No
stated-
formal training in the detection of the smell of marijuana or presence of marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have body cam on today, or on this day?
Yes, ma'am.
When the window was rolled down, did you make any mention of marijuana?
No, ma'am.
And the vehicle was searched?
Yes, ma'am.
Was marijuana found?
There were crumblers on the floorboard, but not enough that I collect or charge with.
Were photos taken of the crumbs on the floorboard?
No, ma'am. I didn't take any photos of it.
Okay. The gun that was found, was the VIN ran on it?
The serial number?
I'm sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
serial number, yes. Are you aware of who it came back to? Well,
So,
let me ask you this, I'm sorry, let me ask you this, did it come back stolen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are you familiar with who it came back to?
Yes, ma'am. Afterwards.
Okay. Did you at any point ask Mr. Greer when he gained knowledge of the firearm being there? Being in the door?
I didn't ask him about the firearm once I opened the door. He stated pretty much an utterance that the firearm was registered. So I immediately, just by his utterance, I knew that he had knowledge that it was there.
He didn't make any statement as far as when he gained knowledge that it was there?
No, ma'am.
I didn't ask him on scene about the firearm.
Okay, 1 second, Your Honor.
Okay.
Were you able to tell whether Mr. Greer gained knowledge immediately before, whether he brought the gun with him?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
I see the question is, you gonna rephrase it?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Law?
Not in the line of questioning, it just occurred to me, Your Honor, as I sat down, that I did not give to the court the exhibits that contain the photograph of the firearms I'd like to do. And to ask just briefly whether the serial number, to the best of your recollection, that was recorded in the report, AHF in 219, was a serial number that you copied and recorded.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Now it's arrest and be permanently temporarily excused.
Yes, Your Honor, permanently.
House arrest and permanently excuse you.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Call your next witness now.
Your Honor, State calls Officer Daniel Brown to the stand.
All right, summon Officer Brown, please.
Your Honor, would the court permit a 2-minute quick break? Just to run time.
Yeah, you can leave.
Is that
Does that car then leave from the pump and go back to the same spot it was in previously?
Yes.
Fast forward a minute. That car is still sitting there.
Yes.
You see that they spend so much time on that BP.
At 1729 is the car leaving.
Yes.
So between 1559 and 1729, you tell the court how long that is?
You said from 1529 to 1729?
1559 until 1729.
About almost 2 hours.
Fast forwarding.
Okay.
We're gonna spend a whole bunch of time in that gas station.
Do you see that same black G-Wagon pull back up again? Or what appears to be the same car pull back up again?
Yes.
At what time is this?
1934, so that's gonna be 7:34 PM.
And was that 2 hours, has 2 hours passed since we last saw the vehicle?
Yes.
What you want, dog? Me jumping over here like that. Go lay down. Lay down. Sorry, y'all. Good night, plant ladies. You going to bed?
Now, looking at 1936:45, I'm gonna pause it. Do you see an individual in a black sweatshirt and blue jeans?
Yes.
Did that appear to be the same person in the black sweatshirt and blue jeans that we saw earlier getting into the car?
Yes.
And does it appear that the person's getting gas at this time?
Yes.
And now going to 1940.
Let me take myself
Does
down.
it appear that the car leaves at 1941?
Yes.
Now we're gonna look at the same state's exhibit number 9, and we're gonna look at April 27th, 2020.
Okay.
We're gonna fast forward to 1634. Do you see that same black G-Wagon vehicle again?
Yes.
Or what appears to be the same black G-Wagon?
Yes.
And is it backed in and parked in the same position as it was in the last two videos?
Yes.
And those are 2 different days, April 25th and 26th.
Yes.
Fast forward, is the car remaining stationary at this time?
Yes.
And does it appear that the vehicle is leaving?
Yes.
All right, the car got there at 1634. What time did it leave?
At 5:10
Well,
PM.
4:30, 45, but how long was the vehicle out there?
Oh, 45, 40 minutes, 50 minutes.
Fast forward.
Yes.
What time is it?
It is 7:27 p.m.
So about how much time has passed from the last time we saw the vehicle?
That was, I can't remember from the last clip that you showed me.
Was the timestamp 17:10 the last time we saw it?
Yes, that's correct.
5:10. So this is about 2 hours later?
Yes.
Or 2.5 hours later?
Yes, that's correct.
Someone get out the back of the vehicle?
Yes.
Now, do you see someone get out the front driver's side of the vehicle?
Yes.
Does that appear to be a male or female?
Male.
Did that person appear to be the same height as the person we saw in black sweatshirt and blue jeans?
From the other day?
Yes.
Yes.
Fast forward.
Hold on, yeah, I'm trying to get the next one. Remove. Go to the next one. Hold on. I had stepped away. I didn't know it was gone already. Hold on a second, y'all. The next one is real short. Let's see. Probably a couple of seconds, this one.
Tepriddy.
Good morning, Officer Pretty, how are you?
Oh,
Good morning.
Officer Pretty, just for the record, would you please state where it is that you are currently employed?
I'm employed with the Department of Community Supervision.
And is a more colloquial term for that, the probation
Yes,
department?
felony probation.
And what are your responsibilities with the Department of Community Supervision?
I am the court specialist that reports to court, and the information that I give to the defendants when they're sentenced on probation is where they're supposed to report to probation, a video that they're supposed to watch, and give dates and time.
What does the video that they are supposed to watch, being defendants, they being defendants,
Yes.
consist of?
The video is explaining what felony probation offers DCS, whether it is housing, counseling, food if necessary, and it also explains any issues that they have with probation with their officer, what they can and can't do, if they feel that they need to file a grievance, how to go about filing a grievance if they're having issues, and
okay. Let's go to the next one. I told you that one was going to be real short. Let's go to the next one. All right, here we go.
Or which have been previously shown to the defense. And ask you if you recognize State's Exhibit 3 and State's Exhibit 4.
I do.
How do you recognize State's Exhibit 3?
My signature right here, this is the very first form on our intake packet.
And how do you recognize State's Exhibit 4?
My signature is also down here at the bottom, and this is our firearms acknowledgement.
And are these States 3 and 4 fair and accurate copies of the original documents that you've described to the court?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state tenders States Exhibit 3 and 4 as evidence.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
States 3 and States 4 admitted.
Any
Whose signature
objection?
besides yours is on the form that is States Exhibit 3?
Mr. Greer.
And whose signature besides yours is on the form that is States Exhibit 4?
Mr. Greer.
Is your signature dated?
Yes.
Is Mr. Greer's signature dated?
Yes.
Do they have the same date?
Does not appear so.
Okay. Now, did you witness Mr. Greer signing this form? Were you personally the one who observed his signature being placed on these forms?
Yes.
And did you explain both of these forms to him?
I did.
Okay. And his date that he placed on the form is what?
January 6th.
Okay. And your date is January the 5th?
Yes.
Would you please read to the court from State's Exhibit 3, the first box in the acknowledgement form?
Yes. Firearms acknowledgement form. I understand I cannot receive, ship, possess, transport, purchase, or attempt to purchase a firearm or ammunition.
I'm going to show you now State's Exhibit 4 labeled Prohibition Against Receiving, Shipping, Possessing, Transporting, or Attempting to Purchase a Firearm. Would you please read the first line of this form, as well as any portions that the defendant initialed, and the remaining portion of this form as is labeled on State's Exhibit 4.
I acknowledge that I have read or had read to me and understand that I have been convicted of a felony offense, and as a result of this action, I am prohibited by Georgia law and or federal law from receiving, shipping, possessing, transporting, or attempting to purchase a firearm. This includes a handgun, rifle, shotgun, or other weapon, which will and can be converted to expel a projectile by the action of an explosion or electrical charge. I also acknowledge that if I am a convicted felon, I am prohibited by federal law from receiving, shipping, possessing, transporting, or attempting to purchase ammunition.
Thank you.
continue to read until you've read the entirety of the form into the record, please.
Yes, ma'am. Possession of a firearm or ammunition means that I may not have a firearm or ammunition in my actual physical control, for example, in my pants pocket, or within my area of access and control, for example, in the glove box of my car. I may not possess a firearm or ammunition either by myself or jointly with another person. If I receive, ship, possess, transport, or attempt to purchase a firearm or ammunition, I will be guilty of a state and/or federal felony crime. I understand that this document can be used as evidence in a court of law during probation revocation or criminal proceedings.
And again, the defendant, Quintavious Greer's signature is affixed to this document.
Hold on, let me get off the phone. I'm gonna be coughing.
At the time that you
Officer Brown, you're welcome to take off your mask if you show desire. Probably help us hear you a little bit better. All right, madam.
Has he been?
Yes, he has.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
He has not.
Yes, could you your full name?
Daniel Brown,
Okay.
And Officer Brown, where are you employed?
with the City of Atlanta Police Department,
And how long have you been with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
about 12 years.
And where is your current assignment?
It's the Real-Time Crime Center, previously known as the VIC,
And how long have you been with the Real Time Crime Center?
about 8 years.
If you can tell the judge, what is the Real Time Crime Center?
So the Real-Time Crime Center, it's made up of sworn officers and military vets, and we cover all 6 zones of the city with cameras, camera deployment, and monitoring any big events or situations.
And how many cameras is within the Real Time Crime Center across the city?
So recording cameras about 1,100, and then license plate readers about 513.
And
Wow,
when we're talking about the
1,100?
recording cameras, these 1,100 across the city, where are they generally positioned?
So they'll be on city poles, like on the corners of many intersections between the 6 zones.
And tell the judge a little bit about how the actual recording cameras work.
Okay, so the recording cameras, they're basically called a PTZ camera, which they pan, which we go 360 around, tilt up, down, and then zoom in and out.
And on the cameras with the video system, is there a time it is?
Yes, so there's a timestamp for every video, every camera that we have. It keeps an accurate timestamp.
And so the time on the video will be the actual date and time.
Of the
We're
actual,
learning a
yes.
lot, aren't we, y'all?
Now, within the Real Time Crime Center, about how many officers and civilians work within the center?
Around probably 18.
And are all 18 doing the same things?
Yes, so, well, we're broken up into 2 different sides. You have a monitoring side and you have a technical side. So the monitoring side, they pretty much have computer setups and they watch cameras pretty much throughout the entire day. And then on the technical side, we deal with more so the maintenance, new deployments, and just make sure the functionality of everything is accurate.
And are you also able to monitor as well if needed?
Yes.
Now, I want to direct your attention to this particular matter. Are there, or is there a monitoring camera near 221 Cleveland Avenue, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes, we have one right over there at Cleveland Avenue and Steel Street. Right.
And that camera that's on Cleveland Avenue and Steel Street, where is that camera situated?
So it's on that corner and it's facing, like it covers like the BP gas station and most of that area right there.
And did you receive a request, or the APD receive a request from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in order to obtain the video footage from that real-time camera?
Yes.
And was it for the dates of April 25th through April 28th, 2023?
Yes.
And also May 2nd through May 4th, 2023?
Yes, that's correct.
And were you all able to provide video images from those dates?
Yes.
And have you had the opportunity to review the camera footage from those dates?
Yes.
You have permission to approach?
You may.
Officer Brown, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 9. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
And how do you recognize State's Exhibit number 9?
My signature is on it.
Okay. And what is contained on State's Exhibit number 9?
Video recordings from the camera, from that particular camera.
And is it from those particular dates that we just addressed?
Yes.
And were those videos a fair and accurate depiction of the images that was captured by the camera on the dates April 25th through 28th and May 2nd through May 4th?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to, excuse me, were there any additions or deletions?
No.
Your Honor, this time, the state would like to tender State's Exhibit number 9 into evidence.
Any objection to States 9?
No, Your Honor.
States 9 is admitted.
Your Honor, permission to publish?
You may publish, madam.
And Your Honor, permission to sit while publishing.
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Officer Brown, you should see on the screen in front of you, on the video, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. I want to take you to some particular timestamps, okay?
Okay.
First, looking at State's Exhibit number 9, this video is titled April 25th at 1600. What time is 1600?
4 p.m.
Right. And I'm going to forward it to 1639.
Okay.
Do you see a black Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon vehicle driving into that location?
Yes.
And let me ask you this. We just talked about earlier about the BP gas station. That's the BP gas station that we were just speaking of earlier.
Yes.
And if you could tell the judge a little bit about where exactly this BP gas station is on Cleveland Avenue.
So it's sitting like right off like 75, like southbound. And that's the gas station like right off of Cleveland and Steel. It covers that area.
Now, do you still see that black G-Wagon vehicle that we just saw a few minutes coming into the parking lot?
Yes, it reversed them. Mhm.
On your screen, you should be able to, if it works, tap the left side of your screen at the bottom.
Okay.
The bottom left, just tap the
Oh.
screen. Does anything come up that you can mark the screen?
Yeah.
If you can circle where you currently see that black.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
All right, and now I'm gonna fast forward to 1612. Do you still see the vehicle in the same space?
Yes.
And does it appear that that same vehicle is now leaving?
Yes.
Stop. Now I'm gonna show you the next video on this exhibit. Now that same gas station,
Okay.
is that a yes for the record?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. And I'm gonna fast forward to 2330. If you can tell us what time is 2330.
You said 23:30?
Yes.
11:30
Is that PM?
p.m. Yes.
And that's after 10 o'clock PM, correct?
Yes.
The car remaining in that same parking space
Yes.
until the end of the video, which is at 19:59.
Yes.
Now showing you the same date. Let's take a moment for the video too.
How many more videos you gonna show me?
Sorry, Your Honor, there's several.
What do you call it? That's not what I asked you. I asked you how many. So, and the second question I'm gonna ask you is for what purpose are you showing these for me?
There are 9 videos, Your Honor. Mr. Greer had a curfew.
He's not charged with that in number 4, so it wouldn't be something I could look at for a consideration.
I
It's
believe that you are able to consider, although it's not a violation.
not unless it's
Violation of his probation, Your Honor.
not, if it's alleged specifically in 4, yes. It also depends upon what you're asking me to do in terms of what his liability is. So I can tell you that if it's not in, at least from my reading of the petition, it's part of his sentence, and I would agree with you, it would violate if proven, but it's not, you haven't, the petition is not alleged it as a violation. So I can't consider it in terms of that particular thing. I can consider the other things in there, but I can't consider that one.
We will be asking as a part of consideration for what we will be asking for in the revocation.
Okay, but I can tell you that I would,
Regarding the sentence, Your Honor.
say again?
Regarding the sentence, we will be discussing this as part of what our recommendation of sentencing will be.
Yes, ma'am, but in terms of the purported violation, I mean, if, I'm telling you, if it's to prove for a violation, it's not alleged as part of the petition in terms of he's violated the terms and conditions. Like you have a very specific, and it puts a defendant on due process in terms of what conditions he's allegedly violated. Yes, he's violated the rest of the sentence, but it's not something I can consider in terms of revocation because it's not put as part of the petition of how he's violated it. So could we kind of move on from that?
Sure, as part of our sentence recommendation.
If proven, then certainly I will certainly consider it. But I can't consider it in terms of what specifically he's been, whether or not he's violated those terms and conditions.
Okay, Your Honor. Well, then what we'll do is just focus on, for our purposes of what we would like to argue before the court, where he is after his curfew. For our purposes and what we like to argue.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as sentencing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
And then reduce it then.
Okay. Okay, so other than this, Officer Brown here, do you have any other witnesses you're going to present, madam?
We're one more, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. I have, is fast approaching the lunchtime hour. I have some other unrelated business, not related to you all. So I'm going to recommend that we take a recess allow you to, who's the other last witness you're gonna call?
Investigator Vigorino.
Okay. Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time lawyers told me that, I would be independently wealthy and could do other things. But that's not the case a lot of times. Ms. Mormon and Mr. Russ, if you're planning on calling any witnesses, you're not required to do so, of course. If you could have them available for the 3 o'clock hour, okay?
We're not calling any witnesses, Your Honor.
That's, for you can let me know at the appropriate time, but I just wanted to know for planning purposes. So we're gonna be in recess until about 3:15. I'll take up, do we need, Officer Brown, you still have any more?
No, because the evidence is in, so we don't.
Okay.
May I? For the record, but if the evidence is inside, we can argue.
Okay. Officer Brown, may I permanently temporarily excuse him?
Temporarily.
Okay, Officer Brown, they're gonna temporarily excuse you witness, so you're subject to being recalled. Don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay? All right, thank you, sir. All right, we're gonna be in recess until 3:15. I'll see everybody back at that point in time, okay? All right, thank you.
Sorry, y'all. I had stepped away. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get the last bit of this. 1 second, y'all. Hold on. 1 second. I'm trying to download it. Hold on. I think we only got about, we got 4 more clips. This one's going to be real short, too.
Did the defendant at any time ask you for permission to be at 221 Cleveland Avenue past his curfew?
No, he never asked me that.
Did you at any time give him special permission to be at 221 Cleveland Avenue past his curfew?
No, I did not.
Okay. Are you familiar with what the defendant's general conditions of probation were?
Yes, they're actually on the sentence sheet, which is what we follow when it comes to the general conditions of probation.
And what were they?
He is not to, can I read it from the sentence sheet?
Yes, actually you may.
The general conditions is do not violate criminal laws of any governmental unit and be of general good behavior, avoid injurious and vicious habits, avoid persons or places of disreputable or harmful character, report to community supervision officer as directed, and permit the community supervision officer to visit you at home or elsewhere, work faithfully at suitable employment insofar as may be possible. Do not change your place of abode, move outside the jurisdiction of the court, or leave Georgia without permission of the community supervision officer. If permitted to move or travel to another state, you agree to waive extradition from any jurisdiction where you may be found and not contest any effort by any jurisdiction to return you to this state. Support your legal dependents to the best of your ability. When directed in the discretion of the community supervision officer, submit an evaluation and testing related to rehabilitation and participate in successfully complete rehabilitative programming. Wear a device capable of tracking location by means including electronic surveillance or global positioning satellite systems. Complete a residential or non-residential program for substance abuse or mental health treatment, and or agree to an imposition of graduated sanctions as defined by law, and make restitution as ordered by the court.
Are there any fines or fees that the defendant was required to pay as part of his probation?
Yes, it is marked that he's supposed to pay the probation supervision fees.
And what amount was that?
It's $32 a month.
Was any part of that waived as far as you are aware during the defendant's sentencing?
No.
And were you able to review the defendant's records prior to coming into court?
I was.
And has the defendant complied with his payment of fines and fees? Based on the records that you were
Based on
able
the
to
records that I did review, I did not review that part.
Okay. And what about his, his community service? Was it your responsibility or the responsibility of the officer or intake officer in Newton to go further into that with the defendant?
It is the intake officer in Newton County.
Okay. At any time, did you give the defendant vehicle?
stop it at 233013.
Okay.
Do you see what appears to be a black G-Wagon vehicle?
Yes.
Does it appear to look like the same vehicle we just saw in the other video?
Yes.
And again, that is 11:30 in PM, correct?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna fast forward to 23:34:14. Or excuse me, 23:34:29. Do you see that same vehicle again?
Yes.
I'm gonna fast forward to 23:41. Do you see that same, what appears to be that same black vehicle again?
Yes.
I'm just gonna kind of fast forward through. Looking at 23:45:40, do you see that black vehicle now back into a parking space in front of this store?
Yes.
And as we just fast forward through, does it appear that that vehicle just sits there?
Yes.
And as I'm clicking through, it's still just sitting there.
Yes.
And it is still sitting there.
Yes.
And did it stay there at least until the end of that video?
Yes.
23:59. So between 23:30 and 05, when the car first gets there, and 23:59:11, how many minutes was that car at that gas station?
You said from, what was the time from?
23:30 to 23:59.
About 25 minutes.
Right? Next, we're gonna go to April 26, 2020. What time does the video start?
I don't see it yet. It's gonna be 3:55 p.m.
And I'm gonna fast forward to the time thing of 3:59. Do you see what appears to be that same black Mercedes-Benz truck pulling into the gas station on April 26, 2023 at 3:59 p.m.?
Yes.
And is it backed in near the front of the BP gas station like that same vehicle was the night before?
Yes.
And I'm gonna fast forward. Is the vehicle still sitting there?
Yes.
And as I'm fast forwarding, is the time kind of moving
Yes, it is.
and the car still sitting there?
Yes.
What time is it that the car moves from that space to the pump?
At 4:37 p.m.
So had it been sitting for about 37 minutes before it moved?
Yes.
At 16:42, do you see someone getting into the vehicle of the car?
Yes.
Can you tell if that's a male or female?
Male.
Fast forward.
Trying to get it in there, y'all. I'm trying to get the last bit. Just hold on a second. I'm having trouble here. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Okay, all right, we're back on the record in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Quintavious Greer. Ladies from the state, do you have any further witnesses at this point in time? If so, who's next?
We do have further witness. I believe that we wanted to tie up the last part of the matter that Ms. Hilton had before the court. We had introduced its evidence, State's Exhibit.
Okay.
And I believe that it's already in evidence, and there were, I think, two other portions of it that Ms. Hilton wanted to.
States 9. Yeah, I thought we were done with Officer Brown in that respect. Is there something else from States 9? Remember, I told you that about the petition?
Yes, Your Honor, and prior to the court releasing us for lunch, we talked about the fact that portions of this evidence would be.
Look, folks, I have to do stuff around here. That's why I step away. Okay?
Okay, but remember, I cannot consider anything that's not within paragraph 4. It would be error for me to do so on this particular petition, Ms. Hilton and Ms. Love. And remember, I'm the judge that sentenced him, so I'm familiar with it, but I cannot consider those particular allegations, for whatever reason the state has mentioned them, their background. I got it. So if you introduce them for background, I don't have any issue with that, and I certainly don't think you need to belabor it any longer. But if you're asking me to consider them for purposes of paragraph 4 violations, I can't.
Correct, Your Honor, and definitely not. With respect to the revocation of the probation, we will ask the court to revoke the defendant's probation based solely on what is in the four corners of the petition before the court and that has been served on the defendant. What we will be doing, Your Honor, is akin to after a conviction at a trial, when the court is then tasked with sentencing someone, what sentence the court deems proper may be based on evidence extraneous to the information that is required and is admissible at trial in order to find a conviction. In this particular case, we are not asking that the defendant be revoked on anything other than what is in the petition. We sought to, and we did introduce additional information to provide a basis for and context for the amount of time. It is the same. The revocation, we believe, will be proven by what the revocation, rather, will be based on only what is in the petition. We are asking the court to revoke his probation based only on what is in the petition.
I understand. I'm telling you, States 9, I don't really need anything else from it. I'm telling you at this point in time.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Marissa Viverito.
Okay, all right. Let's summon Ms. Viverito, please. Ms. Viverito, good afternoon, madam. If you could please approach the witness stand. Once you get there, if you'd be so kind to turn and face Deputy Ingram and be sworn as a witness before you sit down.
Raise your right hand. Swear affirm testimony you give the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Have a seat. State and spell the first last name for the court.
It is Marissa Viverito, Marissa Viverito.
Good afternoon, Investigator Viverito.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to ask you only a couple of questions. Currently, you are employed by the Atlanta Police Department?
Correct.
In what capacity?
I am what is called an investigative gang analyst. My position is the first of its kind for the Atlanta Police Department. It's basically a hybrid position that combines a investigator and an intelligence analyst.
And prior to being employed by the Atlanta Police Department, you were employed by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office?
Correct.
And were you a lieutenant with the HP Plus division?
I was.
And during your time with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, did you have involvement in the investigation that led to the ultimate indictment, 22 SC 183572?
I did.
As a result of that investigation, are you familiar with 221 Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia?
I am.
And can you tell the court the significance of 221 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, to YSL as your investigation determined it?
So 221 Cleveland Avenue is a well-known YSL stronghold, known for things such as open-air drug sales, weapons possession, aggravated assaults, crimes of that nature.
And with respect to the charges in the indictment that I've just named for you, 22 SC 183572, that relate to the defendant Quintavious Greer, are you aware of where the theft by receiving stolen firearm occurred that is listed in the indictment and to which he pled guilty?
Took place at 221 Cleveland Avenue.
Thank you. That's all that I have, Judge.
Cross. All right. May Ms. Viverito be permanently temporarily excused as a witness.
Permanently, Your Honor.
All right, Madam Moon is permanently excused as a witness. Thank you for your patience with us. All right, thank you. Okay, state have anything further?
Those are all the witnesses that the state intends to call, Your Honor, and we would ask that we be allowed to waive initial argument and closing argument last, as we have the burden of proof.
Okay, all right, ladies from the state, I have admitted for the purposes of this particular probation revocation states 1 through 7, is that correct?
And 9, Your Honor.
That's the recording, that's correct, okay. 8 was just for identification on the incident report, is that correct?
It was.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure, all right. Ms. Mormon or Mr. Russ, anything on behalf of Mr. Greer at this point in time?
Your Honor, as far as witnesses or?
Yes, you're not required to, but do you wish to call any witnesses for purposes of revocation, madam?
No, Your Honor, we won't call any witnesses.
Okay. So do you rest for purposes of the hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So the state, you wish to waive opening and you want closing? Okay, all right. So Ms. Norman, or Mormon, I should say, if you want to go ahead and make your remarks at this point in time?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, when we talk about the bigger issue here, the new felony arrest, this goes back to this BP gas station located at 221 Cleveland Ave. It's surveilled for a number of days in what appears to be the poll cams. Mr. Greer's spot is essentially hanging out at this gas station sporadically throughout these days. Sometimes he's inside the gas station. That's where he goes to play the slot machines. Sometimes he's next door. That's where he goes to eat his chicken. Sometimes he's hanging out outside. Sometimes he's in the car. And I know the court in the state's first question is, why the hell are you even over here, Your Honor? Because that was my question. Let alone hanging out for hours at a time, multiple days a week. What possibly could be the reason? I know the state's assumption is he's overseeing gang activity, right? Because why else would you be hanging out at a gas station on Cleveland Ave, otherwise known as YSL territory? But Your Honor, that's not the reality. And that's one thing that I've noticed with Mr. Greer. He struggles with perception versus reality. How one's behavior is perceived can harm you even if it may not actually be the reality. And this is a tough lesson learned for him. The reality is, this is Mr. Greer's community. This is all he knows. This is where he feels comfortable. This is where he feels safe. On one hand, you may say, this is a 33-year-old man. He knows better. He should know better. But again, the reality is, this is all he knows. At 33 years old, he spent a good, almost half of his life in custody.
Did you review the transcript with him of his plea colloquy?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you point out to him already about, didn't we have the court is and Ms. Love had that conversation with him about where he could go and what he couldn't do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, then what am I supposed to do at this point in time in terms of what he's alleged to have done and what he's doing? I mean, like I told the state, the petition is, in paragraph 1 and 2 gives forth what he was supposed to be doing. Paragraph 3 covers the terms and conditions which were set out, as you all mentioned earlier, and then 4 tells me what he's violated. So I can't really I can only consider what's in paragraph 4 in terms of what was allegedly violated in terms of what he did or what he didn't do. But the biggest thing is, part of that thing the state's record and you are mentioning is predicate. I mean, so, he's not supposed to violate the criminal law and not to hang out in places and spots that would cause him problems. So what other explanation other than can you say, well, this is his community, but why am I supposed to look at that when when it's kind of like if you're on probation, wouldn't you not hang around with those particular individuals? Doesn't it specifically say you're not supposed to?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And we did stipulate to these allegations. We're not arguing, I'm not arguing in any way that these are not the violations.
Well, they're not the proven, they're not
right.
the allegations that he's subject to in the revocation. I just want you to be very clear about that,
Right.
okay?
And my point of giving you this information now, I'm offering this as we consider sentencing. That's essentially it.
All right.
I was just making the point that he's never had anybody leading him. He's never had anybody guiding him.
I'd object to this argument. It is based on facts, not in evidence. There's nothing to support what is being argued now.
It's argument. I'll rule your objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but go ahead.
Adding to that, he's grown living in the shadow of his younger brother, who we know gained a great amount of fame while he was in custody. He was kind of pushed to the background. On top of this current battle with family members, friends, the entire country, with this argument that he potentially may have cooperated in the past with his brother. So why is he here now? Seeking validation. And this is the environment that he's comfortable in. This is the environment that he's accepted in. And while this is a very poor choice, and I agree with that, this is the explanation why he's there. We saw the videos, and the officer that was on the stand pointed out this is the same car over and over again. But what we didn't see is he was never pointed out with a firearm in his possession. There were others, not with him, but that had big bulges. They had fixing their pants with firearms.
Well, I didn't hear any of that. I do have one in front of me, state 6 and 7, which are the weapon that was allegedly taken, especially state 7.
Yes,
and if I believe the testimony that I heard this afternoon is that from Officer Raston, that the gun was about 3 or 4 inches from in the handle of the door. So, and it was in plain view when they opened the car door up. So he's already behind the wheel. He has a gun which is probably within 3 to 4 inches of him in this door handle. So why? And then the first thing is said, if I believe that what was said, the guns. He states the gun's registered. So what else am I supposed to think?
So my point previously.
Proximity to him.
Right.
Okay, and he's driving the car. It's not like it's in the trunk. Still would be a problem.
Right.
But he's driving in a vehicle with a gun 3 to 4 inches from him. He knows he's not supposed to have a gun because he's a convicted felon.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he's already signed several documents. We went through the plea colloquy with him in regards to his not having a gun. And then when he was processed and intake for probation, Stage 3 is the acknowledgement of firearms, and Stage 4 is prohibition about possessing firearms or ammunition that he signed when he was onboarded on probation. So it's not a question of he doesn't know that he's not supposed to have a weapon. You'd agree with me, wouldn't you?
I would agree, Your Honor.
So what am I supposed to do at this point in time? What do you ask me to do?
So, Your Honor, based on the facts that you've heard today, and then also, yes, as soon as he took a step out of the car, he pointed out the firearm. He said, there's a firearm right there. He did. He gave an explanation. He said his girlfriend, me and my girlfriend.
Objection, Your Honor, that did not at all.
That's facts, not evidence. So I don't think I've heard anything in regards
Yes, Your
to
Honor.
anything. Okay, continue argument. All right, so he steps out of the car. He does say purportedly
And he does
that
give an
that the gun is registered. Okay, so.
The explanation is not evidence. He does give an explanation of the firearm. My point in that is that he was completely honest. He didn't try to toss the firearm in the back. He didn't place it under the passenger seat of the passenger who is not a convicted felon. He was point blank honest. This is what's going on. Your Honor, I know the state is going to ask for the balance in this case. The balance is 9.5 years approximately. And I just think that's grossly excessive. And if Mr. Greer wasn't involved in this big YSL case, this being his first felony conviction, under the same circumstances, the recommendation would probably be significantly less. And considering all that you've heard today, Your Honor, we're asking to revoke 2 years to the state prison system.
So you want me to revoke 2 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the basis you want me to revoke 2 years is why? I mean, you agree with me, he's subject to my consideration of revoking the balance of his probation because this is a new offense, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so tell me why I shouldn't revoke the balance.
Your Honor, I don't think you should revoke the balance because this is his first felony conviction. This is his first revocation, although I do agree it was very quick.
Yeah, how long was he on probation? I sentenced him December the 20th of 2022, and then he was arrested on 5/4 of 2023. So not even 5 months?
Correct, Your Honor.
Does that sound about right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure I got my dates correct.
He's not accused of possessing the firearm on his person. He's not accused of using the firearm, pointing at any type of violence. He's not accused of being at that gas station selling drugs, Your Honor. I just ask you to consider all of that in that a 9.5 year revocation is a lot. And we would just ask that you would consider a less amount of time.
Okay, and I certainly would do so.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, Miss Love, go ahead, madam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, I'll point out that, as Ms. Moorman indicated during the course of the presentation of the state's evidence, the defendant does not contest the commission of the offenses that have been alleged in the petition. I will point out, however, that the only evidence that the court heard during the presentation of the evidence is that the defendant asserted when Officer Jakanga and Officer Raston asked him to step out of the vehicle and saw the gun, there was no indication at all. As a matter of fact, Officer Raston indicated that it was only after both he and Officer Jakanga noticed the gun, pointed out the gun, and saw that and made sure the defendant turned away from the gun. It was only when they themselves spoke of the gun that the defendant made the utterance, "It's registered, it's registered." And that is the only thing that the court has heard that the defendant offered. He did not offer up that the gun was there. He only, after they pointed out that the gun was there and that he had to be removed from where it was, that it was registered. As the court has heard, it was not an empty firearm, it was a loaded firearm. And the footage of the defendant sitting in the vehicle prior to him
The last one is coming up now, and then that's it, y'all. Hold on. I think that this is the last one here because we already saw when he did the verdict already. All right, the last one here.
pulled over indicates that, as it is in evidence, he did not just come in contact with that firearm or that gun and that vehicle. Ms. Moorman has indicated that this was his first felony conviction, and that is why the court should only revoke 2 years of his probation. I want to point out, Your Honor, that although it was overturned, the defendant recently had a murder conviction overturned, and he is essentially out on bond pending a new trial on a murder conviction. In 2020, he is at 221 Cleveland Avenue with this case in this indictment with a stolen firearm, Your Honor. So in saying that he should only get 2 years revoked because this is his first felony offense, I believe that that does not represent the entirety of the defendant standing before the court. The purpose of probation is to allow the defendant an opportunity to show or prove himself to the court as being worthy of being outside of confinement. The court pointed out to the defendant no less than 6 times, as I have tabbed in the court's exhibit, that is the transcript of his guilty plea, what the purpose of a special condition is, and the fact that one of the special conditions of the defendant's plea is that he neither possess, transport, or have under his control a firearm. The sentence that was entered included a written statement, as is shown in the court's exhibit, that the special condition of the defendant's probation included that he performed 750 hours of community service, that he possessed no guns, shall not have guns during the term of his sentence or any time thereafter unless his right to do so is restored, that he commit no criminal acts, and it also includes curfew requirements. We are not asking the court to violate his probation on those curfew requirements. We are just pointing out the conditions of the defendant's probation. Your Honor, it is in writing in the sentence that the defendant is advised that a violation of any special condition of probation subjects the defendant to a revocation of probation, and the defendant may be required to serve up to the balance of the sentence in confinement. Your Honor, one of the reasons that certain conditions are made special conditions as opposed to general conditions is that general conditions subject defendants to up to 2 years in confinement, as opposed to special conditions which subject the defendant to the revocation of the balance of his probation in confinement. Your Honor, and the defendant has not only violated a special condition of his probation in that he has possessed a firearm, he has possessed a firearm no less than 6 months after being placed on probation. He has therefore committed a new felony offense, 2 new felony offenses that are alleged in the petition, and has shown that he is not a candidate for probation that should be afforded the opportunity to remain on said probation. For that reason, Your Honor, we are asking that the balance of the defendant's probation be revoked to the Department of Corrections, and that the defendant be required to spend the remainder of that time incarcerated in the Department of Corrections.
How much time does he have left, Ms. Lowe?
He has 9 years, and if I am correct with my math, 6 months left, but I will let Ms. Pretty, who is seated here, and she is telling me that I'm correct, 9 years and 6 months left.
Is that correct, Ms. Pretty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, all right. Mr. Chamberlain, can you hand Mr. Russ and Ms. Mormon a copy of that plea colloquy that I referenced earlier, is course 3? You can start on page 13. Councilors, I'm gonna give this to you all. It is, you can take a look at it. It is a copy of courts 3. It should be the entire plea colloquy that your client underwent on the 20th of December of 2022. Hasn't been changed or altered in any way. It's an official excerpt of that particular hearing. So I want you to help your client follow along with that. Mr. Greer, I take no pleasure in us being here again, but do you recall when I sentenced you on the 20th of December that I went through certain things that you were expected to do at that point in time? You remember that? Do you remember? I'd like you to turn to page 13. All right, about line 11, the question I asked you was, do you understand that if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to a revocation for the balance of the sentence? Your response was yes. Is that correct? All right. And in the next question on line 16, do you understand that you're not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you remember we had that saying? We had that conversation about that? Okay, all right. On the next page, on page 14, you remember, and this is, I just wanted to kind of just point this out to you. Do you remember we had that conversation about you run the risk of subjecting yourself to additional charges if you have a firearm? Remember on page 14 about line 11, I want you to read that to yourself. That's not what you're being associated today with, but you remember we had a conversation, we had a lot of conversations about firearms, and Ms. Love's right. About 6 things in this plea colloquy talk about firearms.
Yes,
So do you remember us talking about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Greer, you remember on page 21, I asked you how old you were and about your family?
Yes, Your Honor.
And about how, we talked to you about being put on a curfew. That's on page 22.
Yes, Your Honor.
You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then turn to page 26 at the very top of the page. You remember me talking to you about, this is me, the court. You shall possess no guns during the term of your sentence or any time after unless your right to have it or possess a firearm has been restored, all right? And your answer? Yes, Your Honor. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
On that same page on line 19, also, when we talked about the special conditions of your sentence, also, you will possess no guns during the term of the sentence or at any time thereafter unless your rights are restored. This is a special condition of probation. You remember us talking about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, you remember you signed, I want you to turn all the way to the end, it's on page 34. It's dated December the 12th of 2022. It is, the title of it is Office of the Fulton County District Attorney, Atlanta Judicial Circuit. And it's got 1, current charges, 2, negotiated sentence, 3, special conditions of probation, 4, defendant's acknowledgements, And it's your plea agreement. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I want you to turn to that. I want you to take a look at paragraph number 2, negotiated sentence. B, in that particular paragraph. What does that say?
All right, y'all. Good night, everybody. Good night. Night, night. Oh. That's it. No more, y'all. It ended. Oh my God, my allergies. Crap. It was. He did sentence him. I did. That was the first thing I did, Maya. That was the first thing. That was the first video I put out. Was him, his sentence. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all, but I gotta go. Good night.
Life's trials catch my eye. Stories that let my spirit fly. Chatting about the highs and lows. With my faith, it truly shows. Grandpa Kobe by my side. Moms are here to be our guide. Sharing love in every way. Together we'll brighten the day. Interesting trials we face, with hearts full of grace. Try's a place to heal. Come together, feel the real. With every story that we share, lift each other with a prayer. In this community find strength and peace deep in our mind. Together we stand, reaching out a hand, letting love lead. It's all that we need. Interesting trials we face, with hearts full of grace. Chat's a place to heal. Come together, feel the real. With every story that we share, lift each other with a prayer. In this community we find strength and peace deep in our mind. Together we stand, reaching out a hand, letting love lead. It's all that we need. Interesting trials we face, with hearts full of grace. Chat's a place to heal. Come together, feel the